pale my ducks. Oh, I really must remember that the countdown has time on as well. So anyway, how are we all? Let's open some comments so I can see everybody. Cheers. I have a snowball. It's Christmas. And what I would say, with it being the 21st, is happy winter solstice and blessed Yule to everybody here. It's great to see everybody. We've already got over 50 people in. So, sounds like you had a fabulous trip. Hi, Marilyn. I did. Thank you. I'm going to show a few bits and bobs that souvenir type things that I picked up. And we've got Trio of Witches. We have Lily Rose. It's a good job I double checked. Thought you wasn't going to be on tonight. Yeah, so I said on... What day did we go live? What day even is this? Saturday, obviously, because I'm live. I think it was Thursday we went live from Jen's apartment in New York. And I said I wouldn't be going live tonight because I wasn't going to be home till about lunchtime. And I would be asleep. But I've had 5 hours and I capped it at 5 hours. I could have had longer, but I want to be able to go to bed tonight and sleep till tomorrow morning and get back into the routine because it's almost Christmas and I go away again on Tuesday till Friday. So, yeah, I need to get back into a routine. So I had 5 hours, got up at 5, and I thought, do you know what? I will go live because it will be nice to touch base with everyone. Obviously, I didn't go live last Saturday. We've been in New York. So we have Tarot Trouble. Hello. David's here. Hi, David. We have Sarah. Welcome home. Thank you. Alexandria. Marilyn. Zoe. We have Saskia. Petra. Vintage Moon. Hello. Elspeth. Lily Rose. Patrice. Hello, Patrice. How are you? Nice to see you. Raven Glands, Kathy's here. Nice to see you. We have Trisha, Holly. Thank you, Holly. Jennifer, Ange from Roots and Waves. Trio of Witches. I think I said you, but Sandra's here. Hi, Sandra. So I'm late. I didn't expect this, and I was just doing a Yule ritual. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt your ritual, but it's nice to see you. I haven't been out yet, but I've got to go and do some shopping after this. You know, the essentials, the milk, and all that sort of stuff. Hence why I'm drinking Snowball, because I've got no milk for a cup of coffee. And any excuse, right? And I'm going to collect that thing, Sandra. Charmed Viewer. Anna May Reed. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Let's have a look. Dawn. Charmed Viewer. Does Jen live in New York now with Al? Oh my God, I'm so behind. Yeah, they both live in New York now for about a year. Where am I up to? Robin's here. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting you to have the energy for life so soon. I don't know where I'm finding the energy from at the moment. I hope you're well and have a wonderful time away. Glad you arrived safely. Thank you. Shortest day so you can get to bed fairly early. Yeah, it is, isn't it? The solstice. Yeah, so the journey home. Oh my God. I mean, I kind of remembered why. It's been almost 25 years since I've flown. I'm not the best at flying, but going there was really easy. So much easier than I thought, because obviously in 25 years, technology's taken over and everything's changed. So there's all this, you need an Esther, and then you need a the phone to be working because your boarding passes are all on there now, and you have to check your own bags in and print your own labels, and it was a whole thing. But actually, everything was sequential, so it was kind of going out. It was very easy. The airline that I used was horrendous. It was very old fashioned. It was just an Airbus. And it wasn't cheap either, so I was really surprised. But very cramped, even though I was right at the front, so I'd got some leg room. And I was very lucky because I had nobody next to me there and back, so I could spread out a bit. Otherwise, it would have been even worse. And it was that old fashioned. In the toilets, they'd even got like a cigarette, a stubber, a little ashtray. And I'm thinking, well, you haven't been able to smoke on a plane for like plus 30 years. But anyway, and then JFK was so easy. Stepped off the plane, walked through this door to be greeted by immigration. They took my fingerprints, asked why I was there. That was it, straight through. Went through another door. The carousel was there for the bags. Waited a while for my bag, and then I was out. And that was really easy. It was probably about 10 minutes. So coming back today, yesterday, JFK was rammed. So I said goodbye. We had to queue for bagging. No self-service bagging there. So I had to queue to check in. Well, I checked in the day before, but your baggage drop. And then said goodbye to Jen, Elle, and Kim. And then I went through security. And last time in Manchester, you just walked straight through security, and that was it. This was 9 of those great big hall length long queues, snaking, just to get through one room, and then you was into the second room. I got pulled, so I had to do the body scan thing, and they said, we need to take you one side. Do you want a private room? Or are you happy here? So no, I'm happy here. And it was quite an intimate pad down. They found nothing, of course. And then I went through, bought some duty-free for my brother-in-law, who asked me to get some duty-free. And then I went to the gate, and oh my God, it was rammed. And by this point, I mean, we worked out, I've done 146,000 steps in the week that I was in New York. And I was pretty exhausted by this point, and my back was playing up. And there was nowhere to sit because it was just rammed. And I stood, and then I saw that the plane was delayed by 30 minutes. So I stood and I stood and stood. Then I saw it was delayed by another 30 minutes. And my back just went. And so this guy came over, and I said, I think I need some assistance. I said, I can't stand for long periods of time. There's nowhere to sit. And he says, well, the gate's about to open. And they put me on the train. They put me on the plane first, which I was so grateful for. I could have wept, you know what I mean? Because I was like, it had taken an hour just to get to JFK on train and subway. And then this was a couple of hours of standing and queuing and everything. So, they put me on the plane, and then that was it. I was like, that's great. And then at Manchester, bearing in mind how easy it was to get off the plane in New York, I had to walk miles, and it kept saying something like 600 and something more meters to go, 400 and something more meters to go, and was all walking and walking and walking. It just, these corridors that never ended. And those conveyor belt type escalators that are flat, they were all switched off. Anyway, the good thing there was I got through customs pretty easy, and I found the turnstile. It wasn't easy to find. You had to look at all of them and just see which your airline was. My bag was one of the first off. Couldn't believe it. I must have stood there for about a minute, and it came. I was like, wow. And then my friend picked me up from the airport, and we then drove to Sheffield to collect my car, and then I drove from Sheffield to Nottingham. That was hair-raising. I was very tired. And I got here about 11, so time I unpacked, put the washing machine on, got into bed for about 12, and then slept till 5, and now it's just after 7. So home, cheers. Let's see what some of you are saying. Have you got plans for solstice? Any Yule celebrations taking place? Snowballs are yummy. Yeah, they are really nice. I saw that comment about Jen in New York. I used to fly about 4 to 6 times a year, but I think all my holidays from now on will be in Britain, or maybe a ferry to France. Yeah, it's an ordeal, isn't it? On the whole, though, it was certainly one worth doing. I had an amazing time. I can't believe you didn't take a tarot deck. I had a tarot. Oh, I haven't opened it though because Robin gave me a tarot deck. I've not opened it yet. And I got a tarot deck from Ramon as well. But I wanted to travel as light as possible because I'd paid for an extra case, which was £100 each way for a case rather than just a carry-on. But it allowed you up to 20 grams. I don't know, not 20 grams, 20 kilograms, but I don't know what that was in weight. And so I thought, well, I'll travel really light. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to stay with tarot people, meeting up with other tarot friends there. I'm bound to buy a tarot deck. And in my head, I wanted Lisa Hunt's Fairy Tale Tarot. And every shop that we went into, even Barnes & Noble, didn't have it. And I know it's out because I've seen people showing it, but it's not out here until April. And so I thought, well, I'll get it and I'll use that. But couldn't find it. And all the other shops that I went into and looked at the decks, they're all mass market. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I've either got them or they didn't interest me. So, yeah. So my plan of, I won't take a tarot deck because which one would I take? And I'll buy one as soon as I get there. Didn't happen. We have to order indie decks online most of the time. Oh, this is mass market now. It's by US Games. It was originally indie. I got some Florida water for Christmas. Excellent. Fingerprints. Welcome to the land of the Trump. Yeah, every finger. And he says, "Can you put your fingers on this pad?" And I just pull it like that. And he went, "Do that." So you have to like grip the pad, and then it takes those 4 fingers. Then you have to do your thumb, and then the same on this hand. You grip the pad, and then your thumb. And each time you do it, a light goes around, a little red light like that, and then it turns green, and that means it's taking it. So yeah, and lots of facial recognition devices. You have to stand in front of this thing, and I was told you had to take your glasses off before you went, but they never asked me to take my glasses off. But yeah, facial recognition is one thing as well. The passport is all digital now, so I didn't have to show my Esther because it's all in part of the passport. Let's have a look. This all sounds horrendous. It was fine. This is why I don't travel. Simon, you should be squeaking when you walk with all those steps. I'm glad you had a good... Yeah, I think the lowest day was 19,000 steps. But I mean, it's so easy to do because even though we rode the subway to a lot of places, Jen would say something like, "Oh, it's only 10 blocks." Well, in my mind, I'm like, well, 10 blocks, it's not going to be far. But a block can be pretty huge. But Jen's really central. It's very close to Empire State Building and one direct street. Or is it an avenue? It's an avenue. One direct avenue to Times Square, which we walked from her apartment, and it took about 25 minutes, which wasn't bad. It's 1.1 mile, so on a straight road. So yeah, so that was pretty good. I've just started putting the vlog together. It's going to be a long vlog. I might have to edit it because I'm only up to lunchtime of the first day, and it's about 15 minutes, and it's 7 days. So there might have to be a condensed version. I hate flying, especially after all the plane mishaps. Yeah. Flying and travel used to be fun. I just don't get why. And I know the reason airlines do it is probably so you pay more to travel like business class. And because I sat right at the very front, on the way out, right by the door, so when the door came in, it kind of touched one leg, that close. But on this coming back, I was still at the front, but the opposite side to the door. I could see straight into business class, and it looked lovely. And I thought, but it's double the money, and it was already like £800 for a ticket in economy. But boy, this wasn't economy, this was budget. It was so uncomfortable. But anyway, it's a small price to pay for the memories that were created. And baking homemade bread, roasted heads of garlic. Oh, that sounds so nice. I haven't eaten since the plane. And the first meal was fine. I had beef and rice, but the second one they just give you on the way there. It was just like a granola bar and a coffee. This morning it was a fairy cake and an orange juice. I was like, gee whiz. So that's the last thing I ate at about 5 o'clock this morning. So a good 12. It's a good 14 hours since I've eaten. But I'm going to grab something after this live. Did you try the shirt on yet? I haven't yet. Let me show people what we're talking about. And I'm not going to do a striptease either, Robin, before you ask. So Robin brought me this hoodie. Look at this. It's got all ducks on it. And it's spandex. So, yeah, so that's a hoodie that I can just see me walking around Nottingham in this. But I haven't tried it on yet. I've only just unpacked and done laundry and things. But, yeah. Merry solstice to you too, Marita. Did you try the A-Up shirt on yet? Is that what I've just read? A-Up. Didn't remember reading it as the A-Up shirt. A-Up, Becca, how are you? Nice to see you. And hello, Kate. It's lovely to see you as well. 10 New York blocks. They're huge, aren't they? Is that your eggnog drink? Yeah, this is Snowball. So a work colleague and friend bought me a bottle I've had for car, and I'm not going to pack that to go to. I don't pack bottles usually when I get them to take because I knew what it was anyway. So I thought, I've got no milk in yet. So it's Yule, it's the solstice, it's a few days before Christmas. This will be my Christmas live, if you like. So I'll have a Snowball. Fairy cake, oh my god. I don't feel too jet lagged. And the weird thing is when I got there, it would have worked out that I got in about 5:40 p.m. New York time. And I got such a lovely welcome. I don't know if you all saw, let me see if I can find it. I don't know if you all saw the photographs online, on Facebook group, I should say. But it would have been about 5:40 p.m. And yeah, here it is. And that I was greeted with that at the airport at arrivals. But it felt like tea time. The flight should have been 8 hours and 5 minutes, and they said because it was a bit late getting off, there was an issue with the door. So we set off about 25 minutes late. But instead of 8 hours 5 minutes, it was 7 hours 20, and it was the same coming back. It said it was 6 hours 45 coming back, but it was 5 hours 35. Anyway, as I said, we was an hour late setting off coming back. It went that quick that it actually felt like tea time. And because when you fly there, I flew all the way in the daylight because it was just getting dark as we started to land into New York. But really, it would have been 22, if it's 20 to 6, it would have been 20 to 11 at night. And we went back to the apartment. It's about an hour on the tram from there. Went back to the apartment, dropped the bags off, and went off to see the Rockefeller Christmas tree and Times Square at night. So by the time I did get home, it would be about 11 o'clock at night. That would have been like 4 a.m. But I adjusted really quickly. Just went to bed, woke up like you would normally the next day. And that's what I'm hoping to do today. That's why I only slept for 5 hours this afternoon, because I want to go to bed tonight to be back in the routine. But don't feel jet lagged, just feel a little bit tired. I stayed at the Hotel Metro many years ago with my son. It was smack bang in the middle of everything. Wow. Square pizza. I did have a New York pizza. It was lovely. You'd be chuffed with a fairy cake. I thought I might have got a breakfast though, if it being 5 a.m. our time. Come on, like a bacon cob or something. Saw the placards, yeah. I had a Baileys with Simon at Stonewall. You did. What did I have? I had a Black Russian, which I had to explain what that was, because I think Black Russians are done a bit differently in the US. And then I said, and she said, "What is it?" And I was like, "It's vodka, Tia Maria, and Coke." She went, "Tia Maria?" I was like, "Oh, perhaps they don't have that." But I think Robin said that they do. It's just not very popular in pubs. So I said, "Well, Kahula," basically the same thing. Yeah, we had a drink in Stonewall, and Robin had a Baileys. So then we went to Julius's. I think I'm saying that right. And I tried a dirty martini. Oh, it was strong. Black Russian, Kahula. Yeah, so over here, it's Black Russian is vodka, Tia Maria, and Diet Coke or Coke. Sorry that I didn't get to see you when you was in my home city of New York. Oh, wow. So where are you, Sharona? Whereabouts? Are you in Manhattan or like Brooklyn? Or I have to say, one of the first things we did, and I loved it, was walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. That was on the first morning into New York. That was just beautiful. Okay, so shall we have a look at a couple of the souvenirs I picked up? Now, this wasn't an intention, but I've ended up getting like 6 mugs. Don't even need any mugs, but I got a mug, and then it just became a theme. I was like, "Oh, I like that mug." So, and they've all survived, which I'm hoping they are. I've not opened them, but I can't hear anything rattling about. I don't know what I should start with. Let's start with Wicked. So, on Sunday, I got to redeem the birthday present that Elle and Jan bought for me back in October, which was to see to see Wicked on Broadway. I've always wanted to see Wicked. I've not been able to get anybody to go and see it with me in the West End. But it's been in that theatre, the Gershwin Theatre, for 21 years. So it really has become the home. The whole kind of theatre is now themed around Oz and everything. It was just, I love mugs. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a shelf to start putting collectible mugs on. I don't want them just sitting on the drainer because that's probably how I break them. So yeah, I went to see Wicked, and I bought a Wicked Defy Gravity bag, which was cool. And then in here you get the playbook anyway, the playbill, I think it's called. Yeah, playbill, Gershwin Theatre, as you can see. But this is kind of just like full of general adverts and stuff. It's not really about. It's got some information about Wicked, but what's in here? And then yeah, just some information that they put in. But it was fantastic. It was mind-blowingly good. So when we came out, I bought a proper program, and this is for the 20-year anniversary, which would have been last year. Defying Gravity on Broadway for 20 years, and this is a really cool program. What's that? Oh, some information. This is the score, I think. But yeah, just really cool. I don't know if anybody else has seen Wicked, but amazing. So we went to the bar at first, and they do slushers, and you could get a Galinda slush or Alphaba slush, but it comes in a keepsake travel mug, and this was only about, I think, $9, which for New York is pretty good. As I mentioned the other day, so expensive, even more expensive than I thought it would be. And you could also have alcohol in. Now, I thought, oh, it's a Sunday afternoon. I can't possibly start drinking yet. Little did I know that when I got to my seat, Jen and Al both had alcohol in theirs. But yeah, so, and it's very sturdy. So I thought that's quite a cool keepsake. But then as I went to buy the program, I saw the official mug, the official Wicked mug, and I loved it. So I picked one of these up, and it's quite a big mug. And it's raised, so I don't know if you can see, but the writing and everything, it's all raised, and all this is raised. So it's not like a flat mug, and the same on the back with Galinda and Alphaba. And then on the inside it says Wicked, and then One Short Day. So I loved it. I thought that's a really nice size mug. I've seen Wicked at the West End, but I didn't get any goodies. Oh, love that mug. No alcohol, I'm calling BS. Seriously. I didn't. I wish I had. I was like, oh, why didn't I do that? But I was thinking, not that alcohol in my slush. So yeah, so that was the first mug I got. And then what other mug did I get? I want to try and find, oh yes, this one. So there's a bakery over there called Magnolia Bakery, and it became famous because of the show Sex and the City. Apparently Carrie references it. What I love as well, they're plastic or paper bags. They give you this to go in the bottom to protect whatever you're putting in. And I've got a few bags like that. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And they do this banana pudding, and it's beautiful. The first one I had was a red velvet banana pudding, which was really nice. And then 3 or 4 days later, we went back because there's a couple. The first one we went to was just outside Central Park after we did Ground Zero. And then the second one we went to was just in between Times Square and Rockefeller Center. But this was the Central Park one. And it's just a plain mug, but I liked it. Take all the packaging. Anybody heard of Magnolia Bakery? It makes me. I'm thinking of watching. I've got the box set of Sex in the City. I'm thinking of watching it again in between Christmas and New Year. So quite a bakery, a basic mug, but I just liked it, and I wanted a souvenir of Magnolia Bakery. Established in 1996. What's it say that side? Made today sweeter than yesterday. So I just thought that was a really nice mug, maybe one for work. You're back already. It goes quick, doesn't it? I feel like I had a full week though, because I arrived Friday tea time and had the Friday evening, and I left Friday tea time. So I had like exactly a week. It actually works out as 8 days with traveling, but seeing if there's any other comments that I might be missing. Robin says, I can't believe it's been out 20 years. I remember working in the bookstore when the book came out. So was the book first? I may have to get the book. Now you need a vacation for your vacation. Well, that's the lovely thing. I've got 3 weeks off. So I've had a week. I'm not back till 2 weeks on Monday. Going away to meet 2 sisters, different ones, over Christmas. But then I've got a bit of downtime for a week. So that'll be nice as well to recover from everything. Next mug. Can't remember what this one is. Oh, I can. Do I want to show it first? No, I'll show the other mug first. This one. So, on the day we went to Bryant Square Christmas market, we walked. We'd gone to Statue of Liberty. This is what happens when I'm tired. I start saying all sorts of nonsense. We went to the Empire State Building. I'd booked tickets for us to go up at 10. When we got there was no visibility. It was a cloudy day that day. But by midday, we saw that it was going to be beautiful sunshine. So much so, T-shirts had to go on. So we rebooked for 4 p.m. But that was twilight as well. So I keep saying twilight, sunset. Which was amazing, just amazing. But I'm going off track. So because we couldn't go to Empire State, Jen says, well, we're in this neighborhood. Why don't we take a walk to Bryant Park Market, which we did. But you had to walk past 34th Street, the Miracle on 34th Street, and Macy's. Anyway, we were walking down there and we just called into a Starbucks to get a Starbucks coffee. So this is nothing, well, it is for me. It's all about memories, isn't it? And I picked up a Starbucks mug because it's based on the yellow taxis. So it says Times Square, because we weren't far from Times Square. And then it's the yellow taxi colour. And then on the front is all the yellow cabs, look, in this design. And then it says Starbucks there. It's New York City, Times Square. So even though I didn't buy this when I went to Times Square, because I've been to Times Square twice. I went at night time when I first arrived to see it all lit up. And then we went in the day. I wanted to take a walk and see it in the daytime. Just as spectacular. But yeah, I thought that'd be a nice souvenir of New York with the nod to the taxis. So that's that one. So, whilst we were in Empire State Building, we stayed up there till it went dark. So we got to see it in New York from Empire State in the daytime at sunset, beautiful colours, and then you start to see it change as it gets dark and all the lights start to really. So it was pretty amazing. In their gift shop, I just wanted a bog standard but a big mug, a New York mug. So I really like the size of this one, and I like the feel of it. It almost feels metallic, but it's not. It is pottery. But it's got New York City and it's got the Empire State Building on it. Really nice. Got the black inside, but that it's huge. You know, my fist goes in there. So not sure that's transcendent. And that wasn't bad. That was $19.99. But again, what you see is not what you pay because they stick tax on afterwards. So even though I was thinking, oh, 20 quid. So I'd get 20 bucks out, and then you get to the till and they're like, yeah, that's $23.50. I'm like, blooming tax thing. Why can't they just add it on? Low power mode. I think I'm going to lose chat if I'm not careful. Hello, Marcia. Loved your photos. Thank you. I've got some pretty... How many mugs do you have, Simon? What? To show today? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one left to show. Then I saw this mug and I couldn't not get it. I think Jen and Alpats thought it was a little tacky. But for me, if anybody mentions Empire State Building, the first thing I always think about is King Kong. I just do. And I almost bought a wobblehead King Kong. But their reaction was like, oh no. And I thought, well, maybe that's a little bit too tacky. So I got this mug with King Kong stuck on it. So it says Empire State Building, New York City. And it's got King Kong. I just thought that is such a cool mug. And look at his face. I'm not sure how much that one was. $22.99. And it's got the Empire State Building official store on it. But yeah, so that's the 6 mugs that I got. Anything else to show you? Yes. What's this? There's some things that I'm... Oh, yeah. I like this because we'd gone to the Met and I was looking at art and all that. And this is just a bit of a, you know, it's a made-up art piece. But I really liked it when I saw it. It's a coaster, but it's got the kind of Starry Night with the New York skyline and the Statue of Liberty. So, and it was only, and it's like a clay pot one, but it was only $8.99. So yeah, I bought that. Thought that'd be quite a nice little souvenir. What else? Oh yes, this was cool. So at Bryant's Market that I mentioned that we went to, I love it. That King Kong is awesome. In Bryant Market, there was all these little Christmas stores. But look at this. This bag was free. He said, would you like a bag for it? So I was expecting a paper bag. After I paid, and I said, oh, yes, please. And it was this one. It's like a little mini tote bag. And this was from Roxalandia. No, I didn't think it was called that. But anyway, it's saying here, Roxelana, 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 Jewels, Fine Gifts. And I love the evil eye. So when I saw this, I thought I'll pick that up. just as like a little pen pot for my desk. But it's all misshapen, look. And then it's got the eye on it, which is really cool. Roxy. It's quite a rough material, so I thought, yeah, I'll have that on my desk and put a few pens in it. And I think this was about $35, but it's really nice, and they're all handmade stuff. And he was so nice. I got in a right mess with coins. I was fine with notes, but when it came to coins, like your 5 cents are bigger than your 10s, and I'm like, oh, values are supposed to go up in size. So our 10 and our 5 look like your 10 and 5 the other way around. So I got in a bit of a mess with it, and he could have took advantage, and he didn't. He's like, no, you're giving me too much. All right, so a few other little bits. Fat Witch, we went to Fat Witch, which really loved that little stall. This was in Chelsea Market, in the suburb where Jen lives. Oh, this wasn't from Fat Witch. This was from Central Park. Just a little tacky souvenir time. So if you was in the live the other day, you would have heard me say that you could get like 4 fridge magnets for $10. And I got a Statue of Liberty one. It's in metal, and I really liked it. And I thought, I'll get one for Jen too. And there's different colours. So there's this one, and then like a bronze colour. So I held them up as if to say, which one would you like? And I went, look. And she went, oh no. But I left it on her fridge anyway. I just stuck it up there secretly before I left. So you can either have it standing up as a freestanding ornament, or you can use it as a fridge magnet, which I will do. And being as it was 4 for $10, I thought I'd get one that said Manhattan. That's where I stayed. And then the other one was just a bog standard New York one. So that's them. Oh, this is just a free postcard they gave us when we went to the Empire State, because they take your photograph and then you can view your photograph and buy it if you want electronically. I've got to find the little ticket they gave me for Rockefeller Center, because they look like really good backdrops, but it won't connect in New York with my phone network, so I thought I'll do it when I get home. Also brought a tarot planner, desktop planner. So I thought that looked pretty cool. So I've got that, and then what else? Oh, a couple of bookmarks. These are quite cool. These are those magnetic bookmarks that lift up over your page. So I've got one with the Empire State and the Chrysler Building, and then one just of the Manhattan skyline with the One World Trade Center building in it there. Because that reminds me of the ferry that we took back from Staten Island to Manhattan. Oh, it looked amazing from the boat. And then this, I had to get a duck. This is a chopstick holder. But really cool little yellow duck. I saw it. I was like, yeah, I better get it. And then I got a Fat Witch fridge magnet. So it's been about fridge magnets and mugs, hasn't it? But I love it. And these bags, she said, do you want a bag that it's $1? And again, it's like a keepsake bag, like a tote bag. So that was cool. Oh yes, this. So this was Tribal Home. I don't think I'd got much in the way of souvenirs, to be honest. But now I'm thinking, wow, I did. This I saw in a shop and I walked away from it, and then I said to Jen and Elle, I'm going to go back. So this was in Central Park. As you come out of Central Park, in one particular corner where the Trump Tower building is, there's something called Columbus Circle, I think it's called. And they've got all Christmas stores and lots. It's not just Christmas, really. And I saw this, and then I thought, I'm going to go back and get it because it's beautiful. Look at that. So, I mean, I could hang it, but I kind of want it on my desk as well. It's just, and the sun was catching it as well, and it just, the gold on it and everything, really beautiful. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get that. Okay. Wow, I know. Simon, what is the skeleton and devil Robert was talking about? Yeah, so I was going to do a separate video for gifts that were given, but I can show a few things now because I've already shown the duck top. So on the final night, which was, I want to say last night, it feels like last night, but it's 2 nights ago. When you travel through the night, that all becomes one day, doesn't it? So it wasn't last night, but the night before, Thursday night. We met up with Robin for the second time in East Village, Robin. I think it was East Village. And we went for a meal, Robin's suggestion, at a Ukrainian restaurant. Well, none of us had had a Ukrainian food before, so we said, yeah, we'll do that. Then after that, we took a walk to New York's oldest occult shop. But when we met Robin in the Ukrainian restaurant, he gave me this little organza bag, and in it, I've already got them on my desk ready. From a little Mexican shop, he gifted me these, which was a little devil and a skeleton, and it's double-sided. And I just think they're the cutest thing. He said, I'm not sure what they're made out of, whether it's papier-mâché. I think it might be that bread stuff. And it sounds, when I say bread. But years ago, I used to buy these moon and stars and suns, and they were made out of bread, but they're baked really hard and lacquered and painted. Feels the same sort of material as that. But yeah, so they're going to sit on my desk. Where did Robin mention that? I didn't see Robin's comment on that. Oh yeah, just seen it. Can I show it, Sandra? My friend went to a Ukrainian restaurant once, but one of them was a vegetarian and they had no veggie meals. She had to order a bowl of pickles for dinner. Oh wow, well, they do like stuffed cabbages and all sorts. Robin had cabbage soup and salted dough, yeah. Yeah, it's like a dough, a bready dough. Yeah. What else? When I went up the Rockefeller Center, so I went up on my own because we'd been up the Empire State Building the night before, and that was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But there must have been 500 people up on that deck. So there were some people complaining, saying, because this lady, she was quite short, and she said to one of the guards, you pay all this money and all I can see is the back of people's heads. This can't be right, you know. But being tall, I had a bit of an advantage. And I soon discovered that what you do is if you see a bit the skyline you want to see or video or get photos of, you just stand and wait, because eventually people move away, then you can move in instead of just keep moving around. So I was able to go on all four sides and get some good footage, which you'll see in the vlog, and some photographs. But I lost Jen and Elle for good half an hour, 40 minutes, because too many people there, couldn't find them. Anyway, I went inside and they was inside. And then I said, right, let's go back out together because it's dark now, and let's go and get some selfies and things like that. And then I felt like they were flagging a bit because of the stuff I'd got on my list. They were so generous with their time. Jen took a week off work. Elle only had 2 bits of schooling to do and crammed loads of work in readiness for me coming, which I really appreciated. But it looked like they were flagging a bit. And I said, look, tomorrow I'm happy to go to Times Square on my own because I know it's just a straight road. I can't go wrong. Give you a bit of a lie-in because I want to go early before it gets really busy. And they said, yeah, okay. So in the morning when I got up, I thought, it's right next to Rockefeller Center. Maybe I'll buy a ticket to go to the top of the Rockefeller Center so I can see the skyline with the Empire State Building. I thought that'd be pretty cool. And it was a lot cheaper than Empire State. But then they messaged saying, can we come with you? So I said, yeah, do you want to go to the Rock or do you want to wait? And they said, no, we'll do a bit of shopping while you go to the top of the Rock. So that's what we did. And when I got up there, and there's 3 levels, there was loads of space, and they'd even got chairs that you can sit, nice comfy chairs to sit and look out. And so it felt a lot less, and I got some really good pictures. But when I was up there, I came back down, I went through the gift shop and I saw this book and I thought, well, that's really cool. So it's New York City on Instagram. And what's this? I don't know what that is. I'll have a look in a minute. But it's really cool because it's got everything, but it's what people have taken pictures and posted on Instagram. And I got a photograph similar to this of Central Park. But I thumbed through it in the shop and I thought, actually, this is really nice seeing it from, visitors' points of view. So I thought I'm going to pick this up because it's mainly just photographs. There is a few words in there, but a lot of it is photographic. So yeah, and that was the walk we did on the first day, which was the Brooklyn Bridge. So I picked that up. That was $25, I think, $24.95. Yeah, before tax. Yeah, love it. So that was cool. I'm running out of space. Not sure what this was now. I think it's just a postcard. Yeah, it's a postcard from the top of the Rock. So I just like that because I thought I've just stood and looked at that. So top of the Rock, New York City. I think we're there. Just a couple of prints. What's that? Good heavens, this is 2 cupcakes. Oh, that's Magnolia Bakery. Oh, yeah. But of course, the top of the Rock is famous for the beam photo. The beam with all the workers sat on there back in the day before health and safety. So I picked up the little fridge magnet of the beam. I thought that'd be pretty cool. That was a tenner. It says top of the Rock on it. Yeah, so I got that little fridge magnet. Big cities always look better at a distance. There's so many highlights, but one thing that just took my breath away, I was telling Elle, was when we went on the Staten Island ferry and we went past the Statue of Liberty, which is okay, but Statue of Liberty isn't like you think it is or the way they shoot it in films and on TV. It's quite small. Even as we went past, I was like, wow, that's really small. And then we got to Staten Island, and everybody has to get off the ferry. There must have been 1,000 people on that ferry. It was rammed. And then you then have to get back on half an hour later to come back to Manhattan. But because the way the boat turns, we went past the Statue of Liberty again and did a bit of vlogging. But then the boat turns, and then you just see the Manhattan skyline. And by that time, it was dark. And it was I actually gasped. I was like, oh, look at that. It was just, and no matter how many pictures you take or how many videos or whatever, that to the naked eye, that boat turning, and then you see the Manhattan skyline. And there's loads of helicopters flying above it. There's helicopters all the time in New York, like filming from the air or doing tours or whatever. But I was like, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I didn't buy any tarot decks. I went in a couple of Namaste shops, did too. I went in Barnes and Nobles, went to, I forgot the name of it now, the oldest occult shop in New York, but there was nothing that took my fancy. In person is so magnificent. It really is. It blows your mind. Simon, how did you find New Yorkers in general? I used to live in Brooklyn and worked in Manhattan. I think they're pretty nice for a large city. What do you think? Okay, so I'm glad you asked that, Beth, because two very contrasting. I think service people, so when I say service, in shops, touristy places, super nice, really friendly. And really, just like when we went to the Empire State Building, Jen and I were waiting and I was vlogging, and you might even catch it on the vlog. Jen shouts, "Come on, Simon." And this member of staff was like, "Yeah, come on, Simon. What are you doing, Simon?" And all this. And then she patted me. But yeah, just really friendly. Because Elle was using crutches as well and they couldn't get around. When we got into places where there's like snaking queues, they would see Elle and say, "You're not queuing, come with us, we'll show you a shortcut through." And just really super friendly. People in general out on the street, I was a bit surprised because, and I guess it's the same in any big city. It's certainly like it in London, but I noticed it more in New York. You're invisible, and if you're in someone's way, they're going through you. So there was lots of being bashed and pushed, and there's no respect for queues, which is a huge British thing over here. We'll queue for hours, and if anybody dares to queue jump, won't be tied. But we'd be stood waiting to get on, and people just ignore the queue and just cut in front of you, like you're not there. And you're like, "Excuse me?" So a few times I got kind of bashed and pushed aside because they wanted to get past or whatever. But overall, really nice, really friendly. We did have one experience of somebody in Target across from where Jen lives. And I'd been in there a couple of times, and there was a lady who, you just say something like, because they've got everything locked behind glass, even things like deodorant is locked away. And so I'd say, "Oh, could I get some shower gel, please?" "Of course," and she was, and on this particular day, she was like, it was raining. She'd say, "Now you stay dry today and don't get too wet," and just really lovely and friendly. Then I went in this particular day and I was looking for something. I can't even remember what it was. And this girl walked past and I said, "Excuse me." And she carried on walking. So I said, "Excuse me." And she stopped with her back to me, dead. So as I came around the side of her, I looked at her face and she was doing this. Oh, it was the day I went to find an umbrella. So I said, "Can you tell me where the umbrellas are?" And she just looked and she went, "Upstairs," and carried on walking. And I was like, oh my God. Now over here, you'd report that to a manager and say that was just really rude. Anyway, funny thing is, when I went back, I told Jen about it. And Jen was like, that's really unusual because in Target, they're really nice. Anyway, no, it was the next day. I went in with Jen. We went to get some treats for a movie night we was having. And I said, that's the one that was rude. Anyway, Jen was trying to find something. And she said, I need to go on. I said, don't ask her because she's really rude. So she looked for this other person and she went, I can't, I'm going to have to ask her. And she did exactly the same thing. In fact, she just walked off from Jen. Jen said, oh, excuse me. And she carried on walking. She went, excuse me. And then she turned, she went, I can't help you. And she went, wow, this girl. She said, she really shouldn't be in this job. And then this lad, he must have been only young, probably 18, 19. He came up, he says, is everything all right? And I said, well, apart from that girl who is so rude, I said, the rudest shopkeeper I've ever encountered. And he went, oh, I'm really sorry about that. And he helped us. But I said to Jen afterwards, don't you report that sort of thing? She's like, there's no point. They wouldn't be bothered, which is a shame. But tell the story about the $100 information guy. When I got lost. So we came out. I came out of Rockefeller Center, and Jen and Elle had gone to do some shopping. And it's the whole grid reference block thing. I knew that. I said, "Oh, I'll meet you at the tree, the Rockefeller Center tree," and I knew it was down the side of Radio City. So I came out, saw Radio City, and went down the side. But of course, Radio City has 4 sides. So this guy stopped me because there's you can't move in New York without people stopping you, wanting money. There's this thing that's happening as well, which is it's quite upsetting, where on the underground there are women who buy chocolate bars to sell, but they strap a baby, little toddler, like between the ages of 0 and 2 on their backs, and they just walk the trains all day trying to sell. And I think Jen said she thinks she'd heard that sometimes they borrow babies as well to do it, to kind of make you feel sorry and give more money. So I saw that a few times. And then one of the worst ones are these Buddhist monks that pretend to be Buddhists. So they dress in all the robes and everything. And they go to give you a little information card. But if you go to grab the card, they get your hand and they put a beads on it, and then they want $20, and they're like, you've got it, it's on $20. So this Buddhist monk was walking down the road, and he went to give me a piece of paper, and I went to grab it, and Jen was like, no, and he was already trying to get these beads out, and then she told me about it, and I just thought, so wrong, because that's not what a Buddhist would do. But so I got lost, and this guy stopped me, said, excuse me, and I'm polite. He just looked at me and went, are you from Liverpool? And I thought, do I look British? I mean, the weird thing is, half my family is from Liverpool. My dad was from Liverpool. So I said, no, Nottingham. Oh, Nottingham, England? I said, yeah. And he went, oh, okay. And then he got this little box. He went, $100, I can feed 5 children. And then he was like, $50, I can feed 3 children. $25, I can feed 2 children. And I was like, I'm okay. No, and then he was trying to, no, $100, 5 children. I didn't really get what he was going on about. And he got this, he said, look, I'm official. Anyway, I carried on walking, could not find it. So being lost in New York is an easy experience. I got no signal because I can only use Wi-Fi, and this particular area didn't have a free Wi-Fi. So I was like, how am I going to meet up with them? Anyway, I'm walking back, and he went, oh, you've come back. And I said, no. I said, I'm lost. He said, I can help you. So I said, right. He said, where are you wanting to go? And I said, Rockefeller Street. And he went, it's that side of, which was the other side of Radio City. I said, thank you. And he went, $100. I'm like, I'm not giving you $100 to point me in a direction. I said, I'll give you $5. So I gave him $5 just because he did help me. I would have been panicking. Well, it's funny you say that, Sandra, because Elle said There was the one, I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was in Central Park. And Al said, if I'd been on it here on my own, I think I'd have burst into tears. Because we was in Central Park and we went over this quite a little famous bridge. I forgot what it's called now. It'll be in the vlog. And there was a lad and a girl on there. So everybody poses on this bridge for a selfie. So, of course, being the tourist that I was, I said, well, let us get a selfie. Well, this guy got his camera out and took a photograph of us without our consent. And then he says, come here. And was like, no, we're all right, thank you. We've got the photograph that we want. And he already started printing it. And it was the poorest quality. It was like on like a newspaper A4. And the picture's me with my phone like that, taking a selfie of us. I said, no, honestly, we're fine, thank you. But thank you for asking. Oh, please, come on. Just, and he was really not letting it go. We walked away and he chased after us. He come running with this piece of paper. Please, just look at it. Just look at it. And was like, no, thank you. We're all right. And it was real harassment. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I would have cried at that point. I lived in upstate New York all my life. We refused to go into the city for any reason, really. I'd have been panicking. New Yorkers can be so wonderful, but there's a lot of characters there as well. Yeah, but it was nice to see the whole range, all walks of life, certainly in New York. I've never experienced New York as being amazing. They always seem to be like the other big city to me. Yeah, and there was a rude lady at JFK last night. I didn't get what she was saying because they just say something really fast. I was like, excuse me, and I was trying to check in. And what she was saying to me is, because you've got a seat near an exit, will you assist? But I thought she was asking if I needed assistance. And then and I said, I'm sorry, because it was really noisy in there. And she just kind of leaned through. She went, do you understand? I was like, oh my God. So there's certain things where people are just really kind, really, really helpful, and really friendly and lovely experience in places like where you go to attractions or in most shops and restaurants. Really nice. We went to a place called the Coven. No, not the Coven, the Cauldron, which was a witchy themed bar and restaurant. We had an amazing meal in there. And they were super kind and nice to us. Same in Jacob's Pickles, really friendly. But then you go to some places, perhaps a bit where it's more officials, like their security or guards and things like that. They talk to you look really bad. But over here, you just wouldn't get away with that because you'd report it and they'd be in trouble for it. But all right, so the only other two things is a couple of prints. So we went to Dumbo, which is a place. It is an area. I just thought it was a nickname, but it's actually referred to as Dumbo, and it's in Brooklyn, and it's down under the Metropolitan Bridge overpass. It's a very famous shot, and I bought a print of that shot. And I actually got a photograph of this and some footage because everybody wants the money shot, which is the Statue of Liberty framed in the middle of that bridge. And when we went, it was quite early on the Saturday morning. And Jen and I were saying that if we'd gone like an hour later, you wouldn't get this shot because there was already putting barricades up ready because everybody ascends to try and get this. So I was able to get that. So that was good. And then from there, we walked through this little park and then started walking up the Brooklyn Bridge. And then when I was in Central Park, I need to get some frames of these. I was able to get a big print of that because that is a memory. Because we walked all the way from here into Manhattan, and then we went to the One World Trade Center, and we went to what is it called? Ground Zero. So yeah, and I love this print. So I got a copy of that, and it survived the journey in the suitcase without being bent or anything like that. So that's it for the souvenirs. Really, I never thought I'd get so many mugs on a trip, but hey ho. He didn't find the one he wanted. No one ever bothered me in New York City, but I lived in a big city for years, and I think they assumed I was local. I was just hustled like everyone else. Is he feeling okay? Who? The world's largest Arby's is a few miles away from me. So that was the only thing on the wish list I didn't get to do. And that was Arby's. But we got there and it had shut just before I arrived, permanently closed. And like Jen said, the nearest one is Queens, and you don't want to go all the way to Queens just for an Arby's. But it's the one burger that I remember from when I used to go to the States 20 plus years ago. That I was like, oh, just beautiful. But it wasn't to be. But that's okay, because out of the wish list, I did everything that I wanted: Empire State, Ground Zero, Central Park, the Columbus Circle, Magnolia Bakery, Broadway, see Wicked, walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, Stonewall, Staten Island Ferry to see the Statue of Liberty, Grand Central, the High Line, Times Square, Rockefeller Center, Shake Shack at Madison Square. That was fab. It was sitting outside in December eating Shake Shack burger. Just amazing. Times Square by day, the Met, Biscuit and Gravy, just so many cool things. And then meeting up with friends, meals, drinks, just cool. And then other things like Bryant Market and the Chelsea Market. Anyway, we're at 1:15, so I think I'll pull a card. I don't know if I've got any decks to hand. Let's grab a tarot tile. Always give it a good shake. We have the King of Swords, and there wasn't a card pull last week. Sorry. Obviously, we're going away. I didn't think about it. I should have perhaps done one and scheduled it, but completely forgot. It wasn't until like the Sunday somebody put, "Are we not having a card pull?" that I didn't get to do it. So, a card pull for the week, if you want to show yours in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, is the King of Swords. So I think it's time to get to grips with a certain situation that might have seemed over the last few weeks, maybe months, it's causing you some sort of anxiety or stress, things that are causing a little bit of upheaval or a bit of turmoil. You have the intellect, you have the analytical brain power to be able to take an objective look at the situation. Okay, so the King of Swords has so many qualities. He is an analytical thinker. He is assertive. He is direct. He's not rude. Talking of rudeness, but there's a difference between being direct and being rude. But he's also very prudent. So think about what's important in your life right now, and then all that stuff that has been trying to divert you from the path that you want to be on, or is causing you anguish or turmoil, and plan it out. Plan out what it is that you want to do. you know, clear your mind, be analytical, be assertive with others if that's what it takes as well. But don't allow anything to sway you from your goals. Use the kind of archetypal aspects of the King of Swords to be able to plan and think objectively about what it is that you want to achieve. I used to visit New York from Connecticut when I was younger. That was before the tarot phase. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to go out now, get some food, get some provisions like milk and stuff. And yes, it's been fun to show you the stuff that I picked up. This place is like Santa's Grotto at the minute. I need to spend tomorrow organising. And yeah, I will see you all in the week. I've still got to do my top 10 decks of the year. Normally done it by now, but it's going to have to be probably in between Christmas and New Year. So that's coming up. And what else have I got to do? I've got some Oracle decks from Cheryl that I still need to show. I also want to do a video on the deck that Robin gave me because he's interested in hearing my thoughts on the manuscripts of initiations. Is that what it's? Where have I just put it? I just had it, didn't I? I think it's the... I love this pouch as well. Yeah, the manuscript of Initiations Tarot. So we'll take a look at that as well in the week. Glad you shared your trip with all of us. Yeah, look out for the vlog. I've also got to be working on that tonight and tomorrow. I think it's going to take a couple of days to edit that one. But look out for that to see all the fun and adventures. All right. Blessed you all, everybody. Happy winter solstice. And if I don't see you before, have a lovely Christmas too. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.